Okay. I know we spoke on the phone a little bit early on,
Yeah.
and you understand what the project is about and what we're here to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Concentration camp.
Right. We're going to talk a little bit about your life in Czechoslovakia pre-war, before the war. Talk a little bit about what you knew, what was going on, a little bit about your family. We're going to talk about the camp. You were in Auschwitz,
Yeah.
and you can't recall the other one? The other camp you were at? You had listed that you were at 2 camps, at Auschwitz, and then you can't remember the other one?
Where did you go after Auschwitz? Wie hat sich genommen from Auschwitz?
I don't know where I went.
Okay.
Okay, that's okay. We'll talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to talk a little bit about liberation and where you were and what that day was like.
Well, they said they go liberate us and make us free, but they never did. They wasn't in a hurry with us to liberate us. We was we was sleeping in barn where they had such a high grass. I mean hay.
Let me take you back a little bit. You were raised in Czechoslovakia.
Right.
You're one of 9 children.
8.
8 children. Tell me about life pre-war. Tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, we had a very nice family. We was 4 girls and 4 boys. My father was very good father, and my mother was a wonderful lady. She was trying to do everything what we could, if she could, for the children.
What did your father do for a living?
We had 2 horses in a wagon, and that's what he used to deliver food from next town to Sobrance.
What was life like in Czechoslovakia?
We had a very good life. It was very good. My parents was wonderful parents. Couldn't ask for better parents than we had.
Tell me a little bit about the anti-Semitism. When did you start to notice that you were being treated differently? Do you remember?
Well, when we was in Auschwitz, that's when we started to treat differently. Otherwise, the neighbors, we had very good neighbors, and they helped us out. If we needed something and we couldn't get it, they would go and get it, and they would say, here it is. That's what you need. You can have it. We had very good neighbors.
When you said you were in a ghetto, 1945 to 1946.
Yeah.
Do you remember which ghetto and where that was?
Well, I was in Auschwitz.
Okay.
And from Auschwitz, they took us to work. We was working, and by the end of it, everybody, they started going to terrorist state, and on the way, everybody stand up, and we left. And we was the first one in Czechoslovakia from the Jewish people in home.
Tell me about the day you were sent to Auschwitz.
I couldn't tell you the day, I don't remember.
No, tell me about the time that you can remember. What was going on with your family? Your family was being split up?
Well, they put the boys different place, girls different place, and the parents different place. What they was doing, we didn't know it. What they was doing, they put straight to the gas chamber and burned them. They killed them and then they burned them.
At the time, you didn't know what was
We
going
didn't
on.
know what's going on. We didn't know nothing about it.
And who were you at Auschwitz with?
I was with my 2 sisters.
Your 2 sisters. That day that they were dividing the family up, is that the last day you had seen your parents
Right,
and your brothers?
right.
Miss Schlanger,
My brothers never did came back.
you saw your dad. Remember your dad came to the concentration camp?
Who?
Your daddy came to the thing?
Yeah, My daddy did come to the concentration camps. He was at a real tall fence, but the fence was electric. Nobody could touch the fence because if somebody touched the fence right away, was dead. And he says, girls, whatever they give you, eat so you will make it. If you're not going to eat, you ain't going to make it. Whatever they give you, eat everything.
Your father told you this?
Yes.
This was before you left.
That's when we was already in
You had
Auschwitz.
already gotten there. Tell me, do you recall the day the Nazis came into town?
Yeah,
Tell me about that day.
they didn't do nothing. They just picked the Jews and they said, you got to go that day, and that's where we had to go, and we had to stay there.
Do you remember how you were feeling that day? How your parents were feeling? How your family was feeling?
We
You were
wasn't
about to be divided. You didn't know where you were going.
right.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we wasn't feeling so good because when you got brothers and sisters and you together, it's entirely different. But when they separate every one of them, different ways, different street, different things, it's not the same.
You didn't know it was goodbye.
We didn't know it, nothing. And nobody said nothing, and we didn't know nothing.
So you were together with your family in the ghetto
Two sisters, we was really through it.
in Auschwitz
Yeah,
with your two sisters. You were a field worker.
yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, they said they go give us something better to eat if we go work. What we was doing is putting out potatoes in the ground.
Putting potatoes in the ground.
Yeah, that was for a German family. I don't know how they got us.
Could you eat them?
What, the raw potatoes? You'd be surprised. I seen some of them, they was eating raw potatoes. And I say, how can you eat the raw potato? She says, I'm hungry. I got to put something in my stomach, so I eat the raw potato.
Did you eat it?
No.
Tell me about what your strongest memories are of Auschwitz. What do you remember most when you think about it?
How they separate us for everybody. For my parents, for my brothers, and that's what. That was the worst thing.
You remember the separation.
Yeah. Well, my parents was very, very good parents. And they always took good care of the children.
And they died in camps.
Right.
What did they do when you got to Auschwitz? What's the first thing you remember when you got there? What did they do?
Nothing. They just separated us and they didn't do nothing. We didn't do nothing.
When you got to the camp,
Yeah.
you got orders to work in the fields.
No, when we got in the camp, they said if somebody wants to work, if we're able to drink water. Because after they put some kind of chemicals in the water. And if somebody drinks water, it went through the water. But if you went work for somebody, you could drink water all you wanted. And they didn't bother you.
Do you remember
What?
Do you remember anything about Auschwitz outside of the separation?
No.
You remember the hunger,
No.
the cold?
Well, everybody was hungry. They didn't give us the food. They didn't give us not too much to eat. So everybody was hungry.
Some people call their time in camps their survival to luck, to faith, to physical strength. What do you think kept you surviving every day?
I don't have no idea.
Do you remember?
No.
Why you got up every day?
Well, I was with my two sisters, and we was always together.
So maybe you kept each other alive?
Right.
Were the three of you together at Liberation?
Yes.
Tell me about that day. What did you know? Did you know you were in Auschwitz at Liberation, or were you at another camp at that time?
No, we was in another camp, and we didn't know nothing about it.
You don't remember the camp? Do you remember if it was the Americans or the Russians that liberated the camp?
Well, they said that from this side, Americans coming, and from this side, Russians coming. And we was hoping somebody will come and free us, but the Russian did came.
The Russians came.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that day. Well, you heard rumors that the Russians and the Americans were coming.
Yeah.
And what did you know? What did you think?
We didn't think nothing. We just was hoping everything will come out all right.
They escaped. That's what they did. They snuck out of where they were staying.
You escaped.
By the end of it, yeah. Well, you see, they was taking us to Terrace Estate. And it was at a barn, a great but size like this one, and the straw was that high. So we hide under it.
Tell me, let me take you back just a couple minutes. How did you escape?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, I mean, you were in the hay. How
Yes.
did you get there from the barracks is what I'm asking.
Well, we was going to Terrace Estate,
Okay.
and at night they would put us in a barn to spend the night, so the next day we can start walking again. And when we was out there in that thing, or that the hay was that high, so we decided we go start under it. And what happened, the lady came to the door and she says, "Everybody out?" And we was under the straw. And when she locked the door, we went through a window and we start going home. And we did come. We was the first one in Europe.
How far did you get before someone was able to see you and help you? Do you remember?
They didn't help us. We start walking. And when we got tired, we decided we go on a train, because walking from Germany to Czechoslovakia, you could not walk. It would take a very, very long time to do it. So we catch the train, and they never did ask for money. Even if they would ask for money, we didn't have any, because we was slaves in the concentration camps. We didn't have no money, we didn't have nothing. And some of the people, they would give us something, some money. Some people, they would give us something to eat, so we could hold it out. And we was going home, and we was the first one in Czechoslovakia for the Jewish family.
So you escaped?
Yes. Yeah, that's when we came out from the straw. We wasn't just 3 of us. It was 22 ladies.
22 women.
Yes.
Did
We
all
came out
22
through the
of you-
window, and we start going home by walking, and then we catch the train, and the train took us home.
All of you, or just you and your sisters?
Me, my sisters, and a lady.
And you split up with the other women?
Yes. Well, every one of them was going different direction.
Right. Everybody was going home?
Right.
So you were going back to Czechoslovakia. At this time that you were getting on the train,
Yeah.
had the Russians already come in and began liberation? Or were you still considered in hiding? Were you still hiding to get home?
No, we wasn't hiding. We wasn't afraid to hide.
Okay.
We wasn't hiding. They just said if we need anything, they'd be glad to help us out.
Tell me about the train ride home. What
Well,
do you remember about that?
on the train we went, some of them gave us the seats so we can sit down, and some of them we was standing up, and they say, "Go ahead, sit down, and you don't have to stand." So we sat down, and they said that if we need, they would give us something to eat while we was out there, and that was very
Did
nice.
these passengers know you were concentration camp survivors?
Well, anybody knew, because they cut the hair and it didn't grow in a whole year by that much. You can tell the hair was short, so that's what it was.
So they were giving you food?
Yes,
How were they treating you?
very
Besides-
nice.
Were they surprised at the conditions that
Yes,
you were living in?
yes.
Did you find that surprising that they were surprised?
Well, we were surprised when we got home that some of the things we still find, some of the neighbors took it, and when we came back, they gave us back. some furniture and stuff like that, they did give us back.
So they held some of your things for you.
Yeah. No, they didn't hold. They used it.
They used them.
Yeah. But when they seen that we back, they gave us back.
Now, you came back to Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Is that when you found out that your family was not there anymore?
Right.
Tell me about that.
What can I tell you?
Tell me about what you and your sisters talked about, what you went through at that time.
We didn't talk about it. We couldn't do nothing, and we couldn't bring him nothing. We didn't know nothing what was going on when we went through.
So what happened after that? After you got home with your sisters? Tell me about that. Did you get medical aid?
No,
Were you able to get any assistance at all?
no,
The Red Cross or anybody? No.
no.
Did you go to work, go to school?
No, we didn't go to school and we didn't go to work because we didn't have no kind of job out there, no nothing.
How were you living? Were you living in your old house?
I wasn't in the, yeah, we went back to the house while we left.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the furniture the neighbors had, and they gave us back.
Mm-hmm.
They said they bought it, but they did give us back the furniture. And I got engaged to my husband, so I left earlier than my two sisters. And they asked me what they should do with the furniture. And I said, do whatever you want to. I said, you know, I don't want nothing, and I don't want nothing from that thing. Well,
So from Czechoslovakia, you got married
in Italy,
in Italy, and
Yeah.
you moved where?
and moved to the United States.
And did you come straight to Tennessee?
No, I went straight to Bridgeport, Connecticut.
To Connecticut.
I had out there uncle. I stayed out there about a week. And I had a baby, about 8-month baby. And she just want me to give her the baby for her daughter. And I said, I ain't gonna give her my baby. I'm going to move. So I came to Nashville because some of my husband's relatives was out there. So I went out there.
How did you like Nashville?
All right, very good.
Were you able to connect and talk to other survivors that lived here?
Some of them, yeah.
How do you feel about doing that? How are those conversations for you?
We wasn't talking about the survivors. We was talking about something different.
Do you talk a lot about what happened?
No. It's not such a good talk to say they killed this and they killed this. That's not a very good talker.
Do you think it's important for people to know what happened?
People know. Some people know and some people don't. I know one guy, he was an older man, and he says, it's just a story that they killed so many people. I say, you didn't lost nobody, so you can say it's a story. But I say, it's not a story. My parents went, my sister, oldest one, she was married, she had a baby, she's going. And I say, my brothers was too young, they was going. And I say, I didn't have no leftover. My oldest brother one was 12, one was 10 and 8, and not even one of them didn't come back. Went straight to the gas chamber and it's going.
Well, the people that tell you it was just a story and it never happened.
That's what he said. I told him, I said, you didn't lost nobody, so you can say it's a story. But I say, I'm not saying a story, it's a true thing.
What do you want people to know about what happened?
Well, even if I would tell them, they wouldn't believe it. They would think I made it up. How they was killing, you know good and well, how they was killing the people out there. They first give them the gas to kill them, and then when they got dead, they burned them, and that's it. They couldn't bury so many people. They didn't have no room way to bury them. So when they killed them, they burned them, and the ashes won't take too much room.
You want people to remember what happened?
Why not? It's something you can't hide. Even if I want them to what happened, they wouldn't believe. Some people would say it's just a story talking about it.
You know that's what this project is about, don't you? Do you
Yeah.
realize that?
Yes.
I mean, we're having you here and be a part of this is how we're stopping it.
I didn't made it up, believe me. It's true.